Welcome back, YouTube, to another edition of First Family Life and a Taste of the Good Life, a Christian network where we like to acknowledge God in everything that we do. It was Him that woke us up early this morning, clothed in our right mind, and to Him be glory, majesty, dominion, and authority. Good morning again. I'm on my way to work. And I just wanted to cook something for my family that'll be prepared when I get home from work, God willing. It's going to be our favorite Crockpot Neckbones, potatoes, green beans. Here's what we're working with. Uh, Pork neck bones. If you don't eat pork, you might want to go and cut off the channel. But if you want to hear, see some good encouragement, stay tuned. But here we have 2 packs of small neck bones cut small for me and my family. It's me, my wife, and my daughter. For those that don't know, we have some fresh green beans that we're going to get washed up and cut up and put into the pot, along with about 3 medium-sized and 2 small potatoes. Love my onion. We're going to put this whole onion in there. And quite naturally, we have to have our chicken broth. We have to have chicken broth. If you don't have chicken broth and you're copying this recipe, you can use water. And we're going to season everything up. We're going to season our water up or chicken broth up with 1 packet of onion soup mix, along with 1 packet of Saison. And then I have to start putting my favorites in. I'm going to use a little bit of Tony Chachere's. And then, of course, my favorite from down south, Arkansas, Mississippi, Memphis, all Greek, all-purpose Greek seasoning, along with black pepper and salt. And then I'm going to put 1 stick of butter in there and put it on a medium, probably medium. That should be enough. I'll be at work 8 hours, put it on medium, and it'll be done when I get home. All right, stay tuned. All right, family, here we go over here. These neck bones are not bad at all as far as needing clean. We're going to wash them well. But some of them I done seen really need to be picked and cleaned good. These need cleaning, but not as bad as some I've seen. We're going to go from here, from rinsing, and we're going to bring them over here and get them in our crock pot. And then we're going to add in the potatoes, then the green beans as we go. And quite natural, without a doubt, my lovely wife, the beautiful first lady of the St. Jude house, she's going to be making our cornbread. She's a cornbread connoisseur. We thank God for it. All right, stay tuned. All right, bless the name of the Lord. We're getting ready to do our potatoes now. I am going to show you how I cut them. I like to cut them. I've learned my family by now. I like to cut them in equal size as close as possible, but at the same time, we don't really like big chunks of potatoes. So we'll cut them like that. There it is right there. But we love potatoes in this family. Family, we hope and pray that you've been having a blessed week. I am excited about working. Man don't work, he don't eat. That's biblical and that's for real. So I'm excited about going to work today. The weather's changing in our area. It's finally cooling down. My time of the season. We're not quite in fall yet, but it is cooling down in our area. And I work outside and inside. So I am so glad to be a working man that's glorifying God in everything that I do to the best of my ability with help from the Holy Ghost. Look at that. Thank my wife today. She's behind the camera. When I get out of her kitchen and get to work, she works from home. So I'm sure she'll be glad to get to work, get me out of the way. That looked like art form. Everything is still on the cutting board. Look at that. They pretty close to being the same size. I don't believe it's possible to cut them all exactly the same size, but you want to get close as possible. All right, fam, there we go. We're going to rinse them off and we're going to get them in the pot. Then we're going to come back and get our green beans washed and clean them up and get them cutting in the pot and in the onion. And then we're going to add in our seasoning. All right, we done cutting up our potatoes. We ready to wash them and get them in the crock pot. Come on with me. That's 3 medium potatoes and 2 small potatoes. We love potatoes. Love them. All right, we're going to rinse most of the starch off of them as we can. All right. I don't have time for the gloves today because I'm trying to get done so I can get to work. Bless my family financially by the grace of God, whom all blessings flow. If you are viewing this video from our First Family Life page, be sure to go and look at our vacation we took this past weekend to Chicago, family reunion. It was so fun. And I think that it's 3 nice videos that we have out that I'm sure you might want to see. So go over to First Family Life and look for our vacation video in Chicago. All right, we got them rinsed. Watch this. We're going straight over to the crock pot. Look at that. Already got our beautiful neck bones in there. All right. Now we're going to go to the table and get our green beans done. All right, green bean time. This is the way I like to do mine. Do yours the way you want to. It's the way I like to do my green beans. Cut them about that size. Bam, they're done. I'm just going to show you a few. This is how I do my green beans. I don't like to keep them tips on there. Some people do. I don't. Do your thing. Like they say on Facebook, do you. Nah, we got to always do God. We can't do ourselves. We're nothing but filthy rags. All right, fam, I'm going to do a few more, and then we're going to come back when I got them, have them all trimmed and cut, ready to be washed and go into our crock pot. All right, there, YouTube family, here they are, fresh cut green beans. This is what I decided to keep. And this is the trash here. We didn't want that. We're going to trash that. So, all right, we're going to come over here to the sink like we did with the potatoes. We're going to get these in here and get them washed up. Wash them off real good. This is the second time they're being washed, so we're just going to rinse them off real good. And guess what? They get married potatoes and neck bones. I now pronounce you man and wife. Here we go. Look at that. It even look good just looking at it. Ain't it raw? Look at that. Oh, we thank God for all of our provisions. He is our provider. I think they call him Jehovah Jireh. All right, we're going to add our seasoning in there, and we're going to get to work. All right, family. Let me say this first before I forget. If you love Christian content, you want to see more Christian content, like, subscribe to our channel. We love you as always. Even if you do or don't, we still love you. We get ready to get this onion cut up. I'm cutting this whole onion up and get her in there. I love onion. My family's kind of a little split on. They love onion, but not as much as me. But when I'm cooking, we gotta have it. They'll eat it, especially the way it's gonna season up this dish that we're working with today. Look at that fresh onion. We're gonna get this onion cut up. I guess I'll figure out the chunks as I go. About like that. Nice little pieces. Yeah. That's about good. Look at that onion. I want to go and get it broke up into a pot before I start making me shed tears. So the onion want to jump out of the pot. We're going to get it broke up. We got to have it broke up. No other option. I'm going to get that onion in there. I might not use it all the way it look like that may be enough. Half an onion. My wife standing behind the camera like, yeah. She trusts my judgment. It looked like a lot, but when it start cooking, start rendering down, you'll be barely able to find them onion. I'm gonna put a little bit more in there, because I know in this dish, I love that onion. I'll be the one looking for it. All right, just maybe, look, one more, that's it. That's it. I know somebody on there watching like, ooh, that's too much onion, but trust me when I tell you, it's gonna cook down, it's gonna make this dish flavorful. All right, let me come back to you. All right, family, we get ready to conclude this video and come back later on after work and show you the finished product. But we getting ready to add our chicken broth. I think I'm gonna probably need 1.5 or 2. I'm used to my crock pot, but it's been a while since I used it. I think it's gonna take 1.5. We're gonna get that chicken broth in there. As I said earlier, if you do not have chicken broth or beef broth or vegetable broth, you can go ahead and use water. I have used water many a times, and it came out great. This chicken broth or some type of broth or bouillon that's added to your water do bring a whole different level of taste to your dish. But if you don't have it, you got to use what you have. I think the last time that I actually did pinto beans and smoked, I believe it was smoked neck bones. I actually didn't have any chicken broth. I used water and it came out just fine. I'm gonna go ahead and use this 2 of these, and I decided to go ahead and cut the crock pot up on high so that it can go ahead and cook, because I'm running late for work now, so I won't be there long, God willing. So I decided to go ahead. Okay, there's our chicken broth. Let me get something to mix that up. I'm just gonna grab the first thing available. Get that all kind of moved around there. We'll stir it up. The wife will be stirring it while I'm at work. I'm gonna go ahead and get my seasoning in there now while you all watching. Black pepper. Season to your taste. Season to your taste. I love the taste of black pepper, so I'm gonna be working it for a minute here. Black pepper, black pepper, black pepper. I'm gonna get up off of it about right there. That's fine. I can always add some to it later. Little salt. We not much of salt eaters in the family, but just a little salt because some of my seasonings have salt already in it. That salt is gonna be for my potatoes. I'm gonna cut it right there. I don't want too much salt. All right, that Greek seasoning, it has salt in it as well, that Tony Chachere's. So season to your taste, season to your taste. I've done this dish so many times, I know about where I like to stop my seasoning at. All right, there's Tony. See, that's fine right there. I'm gonna call it right there. And then I'm gonna come with a pack of Saison. I maybe should put 2, but I'm gonna put 1. 1 pack of that Saison. Look at the color of that. That 1 pack was perfect. And then that onion soup mix, whole pack of that. Three-pack pouch. We only gonna use 1 pack. Look at that onion soup. All right, get my trash ready to be cleaned up and clean my wife's kitchen up before I leave so I can come back to a trouble-free home. Make sure her kitchen is clean before I leave. It was clean before I got in it, so I want to make sure it's clean when I leave. Look at that. You can see the flavor already in here. I'm going to add a little onion powder and garlic powder to the equation off camera, and we're going to get this bad boy cooking. All right, family. All right, fam, this is how we do it. I'm going to go ahead and add a little onion powder in there. A little onion powder. A little garlic butter. I just started using this garlic butter. Okay. And then instead of deciding to use a whole stick of butter, I decided to use a half a stick since I'm trying to watch my cholesterol. All right, fam, I have it cut up on high heat. So we'll come back after work. God bless you. Hey, good people, here we are getting ready to conclude this video. I've been to work, I've come home, cut the grass. Here we are with the finished product. The wife did a marvelous job keeping a watch over it. Look at her cornbread. She make that cake cornbread. I can't wait to get into it. All right. And this is our first time we all looking at it together. Oh, yes. Look at that. I mean, if you know anything about neck bones, green beans, mashed potatoes, there it is right there. Look at all that good juice. Meat falling off the bone. My wife called it a stew. Neck bones stew. So, all right, fam. Love you. Continue to keep God first. Don't forget to subscribe. Be blessed.